Good afternoon, children. In the last class, we had described what is latent heat, what is the types of latent heat, units of latent heat. Today, our topic is temperature time graph. Temperature time graph means the graphical representation of change of state of a matter. Means how the state of a matter is changed, that we explain graphically. Okay. In the temperature time graph, along the vertical y-axis, that is, this one is y-axis, along vertical y-axis, temperature is plotted. Along the horizontal x-axis, time is plotted. Okay. Consider a matter is taken. A solid form of a matter is taken. Okay. And we supply heat from outside, and the source of the heat supply, means source of the heat supply is constant. Means constant, we are supplying heat in a constant rate. Okay. And one condition must be maintained, that there is no heat exchange occurs between the matter and the surroundings, and surroundings to the matter. Okay. Now, when at the starting point, initially, the solid is here. Okay, we are supplying heat from outside. Clear? So, along with the time, the graph is like this. Okay, temperature is increased and time is also increased. Heat is supplied. So, this form, this slant height, means this inclined line represents the solid form of the matter. Okay. At a particular instant of time, that is t1, a particular instant of time, that is t prime, this point, at this point, the solid reaches at point 1, this one is point 1, okay, and the corresponding temperature is big T prime, okay. When the solid reaches at point 1, it starts melting, means fusion is started. When the fusion is started, that means the temperature remains constant until the entire solid turns into liquid. Fusion means the change of solid from solid to liquid. Okay. Until the entire solid turns into liquid, the temperature remains constant. Okay. But we are supplying heat from outside, the constant supply. Okay. So time is increased from 1 to 2, means the time is increased from T prime to T double prime, but the temperature remains constant at T prime, big T prime. Okay. When the matter, means when the substance reaches at point 2, the entire solid turns into liquid. Okay. Now that means at point 2, the state of the matter is liquid form. Here we are again supplying the heat, the constant heat, we are supplying the constant heat from outside. Okay. So time is increased. This height, this straight line indicates the increase of temperature with the time of the liquid form. Okay. Suppose at point 3, at a particular instant of time, the liquid reaches at point 3. Okay. That means the corresponding time is T triple prime. Clear? And the corresponding temperature is big T double prime. Okay. When the liquid reaches at point 3, boiling starts. Means the liquid starts to form gaseous form. Okay. That means we know that until the entire liquid turns into gaseous form, the temperature remains constant. So the temperature is big T prime, T double prime, but time is increased from T triple prime to T 4 prime. Okay, and the corresponding graph is 3 to 4. Okay, when the matter reaches at point 4, the entire liquid turns into gaseous form. Okay, that means at point 4, the state of the matter is gas. Clear? And throughout the process from 3 to 4, the temperature remains at big T double prime. Okay, Again the heat is supplied, so the temperature of the gas is increased and it reaches at 0.5. Okay, and the process will be continued. Understood? Now, from the graph we get, consider a point P. There is no space, so I have written P here, but better you write P within the graph. Okay, consider the point P. What is the form of the matter? Definitely it is solid, because it is not reached at point 1, and at point 1 fusion starts. Okay, so at point P the state of the matter is solid. Okay, consider another point Q on the horizontal line 1, 2. Okay, what is the state of the matter? State of the matter is solid plus liquid. Why? Because melting starts, fusion starts, but the entire solid is not changed into liquid. That means at point Q the state of the matter is solid and liquid mixed. Mixture of solid and liquid. Temperature remains constant. That means what is the name of the temperature? T prime. T prime. T prime is nothing but the temperature at which solid starts into liquid, that is melting point of the solid. Okay. Consider another point R on the straight line 2, 3. Okay. What is the state of the matter at point R? It is nothing but liquid, because at point 2 the entire solid turns into liquid. Okay. So at point R the state of the matter is liquid, right? Consider a point S on the horizontal line 3, 4. Okay, what is the state of the matter at point S? It is nothing but the mixture of liquid and gas. Why? Because at point 3 boiling starts. Boiling starts at point 3, and at point 4 the entire liquid turns into turns into gas. That means at point 4 S is in between 3 and 4. So at point S the form or the state of the matter is liquid plus gas. Clear? Consider another point T on the straight line 4, 5. What is the form of the matter? It is nothing but gas, because at point 4 the entire liquid turns into gaseous state. Understood? So at point 4 it is the gas. Clear? So what is the name of the temperature? T double prime. T double prime is nothing but the temperature that which the liquid turns into gaseous form. That is, it is the boiling point of the liquid. Okay, so T prime is melting point of the solid, of the matter, and T double prime is the boiling point of the liquid of the same substance or of the same matter. Okay, so T prime is melting point and T double prime is boiling point of the substance. Clear? So this is the entire graph is the temperature time graph, that is the graphical representation of the change of state of a matter. Understood? The time T prime is the time at which the solid turns into liquid. T double prime is the time when the entire solid is turned into liquid. T triple prime just mere boiling starts. T4 prime boiling ends, means the entire liquid changed into its gaseous state. Okay, so it is the temperature time graph, graphical representation of the change of state. Next, next topic, vapor pressure. Vapor pressure. What is vapor pressure? Vapor pressure means, vapor pressure is defined as the pressure that is exerted by vapor or gaseous form of a substance And in thermodynamic equilibrium, means in equilibrium state, along with its condensed phase, suppose the liquid at a constant temperature in a closed system. Means vapor pressure is the pressure exerted by a vapor of a substance. Vapor means gaseous state of a substance in thermodynamic equilibrium equilibrium with its condensed phase considered as liquid at a constant temperature in a closed system. Okay, so what is the definition of vapor pressure? Let us write it. Vapor pressure is the pressure exerted. Vapor pressure is the pressure that is exerted by vapor in thermodynamic equilibrium with its condensed phase liquid at a given temperature in a closed system. Okay, that means at vapor pressure, the vapor and liquid of a same substance coexist in equilibrium and the temperature is remain constant and the system must be closed. Okay, if we draw a graph between vapor pressure and temperature, along x-axis, along y-axis, we plot vapor pressure. Represented by Vp 0. Along x-axis, temperature is plotted. Okay, the nature of the graph is like this. This point, the end point, is known as critical point. End point is known as critical point. This part above the curve, it is vapor, and this part, the form or the state is liquid. Sorry, this part is liquid and this one is vapor. Critical point is the end point of vapor pressure, temperature graph at which the liquid and vapor coexist and temperature is constant. Okay. Next topic. Saturated and unsaturated vapor. Saturated and unsaturated vapor. If the pressure of a vapor is equal to the vapor pressure at that constant temperature, then the vapor is called saturated vapor. If the pressure of the vapor is less than the vapor pressure at any temperature, then that vapor is called unsaturated vapor. Let us consider an example. Suppose one closed system, closed container is taken and some liquid is contained in the container. Okay, if the liquid is allowed to evaporate, evaporation starts from the upper surface of the liquid. Okay, but the volume is constant, so volume of the air just above the liquid is constant. So after some time, condensation starts and that condensed liquid droplets will attach on the wall of the container like this. Okay, if any volume of air or any volume of the gaseous form space, any volume of air can absorb, if any volume of air is contains maximum amount of vapor at a constant temperature, then the air is said that it is saturated. Okay, that means if we consider this volume as air and it contains maximum amount of vapor and it cannot absorb more vapor, then it is said that this air, this amount of air is saturated. Okay, saturated and the corresponding vapor is called saturated vapor. Saturated vapor, saturated vapor cannot, saturated vapor cannot obey Boyle's law and pressure law. Boyle's law and pressure law of gas. Clear? Saturated vapor cannot obey Boyle's law and law of pressure. Okay, what is unsaturated vapor? Just opposite to saturated vapor. Suppose consider this amount of this volume of air. If this volume of air absorb more vapor, then it is at a constant temperature, then it is said that this air is unsaturated. So it has the capability to absorb more vapor. Clear? In case of unsaturated vapor, the pressure of vapor is less than the vapor pressure of the constant temperature. Clear? And in case of saturated vapor, the pressure of the vapor is equal to the vapor pressure at that constant temperature. Unsaturated vapor obeys Boyle's law and pressure law. Understood? Next, dew and dew point. Dew and dew point. Consider some volume of air, which is saturated by water and the temperature is T. Temperature is constant as T. Okay. Now, if we decrease the temperature, suppose the next temperature is T1, that means if we decrease T1 is less than T, if we decrease the temperature, then the capability of air to hold the vapor in that particular volume is also decreased. The excess condensed water will be deposited on the grass or near the surface of the earth, that is called dew, and the temperature at which dew is formed is called dew point. So what is dew point? Dew point means the temperature at which some volume, a particular volume of air is saturated by the water vapor. It is called dew point, and dew is formed at dew point means the temperature at which dew is formed is called dew point. Next topic, mist. What is mist? Dew is formed at dew point. If we again decrease the temperature slightly, then the excess vapor, excess water vapor will deposit on the smoke and the dust, and that is formed is called mist. But mist and fog both are not same. The basic difference between mist and fog is visibility. If it is visible 1,000 meter or 1 kilometer or more, it is called mist. If it is visible within 1 kilometer or less, it is called fog. Okay, this is the basic difference between mist and fog. But how mist and fog is formed is the physical reason is same. Okay, another important thing, dew is formed only at night, not in the evening and not in the daytime. Why? Because Earth's surface takes a long time to radiate the heat energy by the method of radiation, and then the dew point is reached, and when the dew point is reached, dew is formed on the near the surface of Earth or near the grass or on the grass. Clear? Next topic, absolute humidity and relative humidity. Absolute humidity definition: mass of water vapor per unit volume. Mass of water vapor per unit volume is called absolute humidity. And what is relative humidity? Relative humidity is the ratio of partial pressure of water vapor at any temperature. Partial pressure of water vapor at any temperature, suppose T, at any temperature, divided by the vapor pressure at the same temperature T multiplied by 100%. So absolute relative humidity, we get the value as percentage form. It is the ratio partial pressure of water vapor at any temperature to the vapor pressure at the same temperature. This means for both the cases temperature is constant multiplied by 100. Okay, so what we have done today? First of all, saturated vapor and unsaturated vapor. What is saturated vapor, unsaturated vapor, that was discussed. Number 2, dew and mist. How dew is formed, how mist is formed, what is the basic difference between mist and fog, and next and last of all, absolute humidity and relative humidity. Numericals will come based on the formula relative humidity and absolute humidity. Suppose the partial pressure of water vapor is given at a temperature and the vapor pressure at that same temperature is given, you can easily find the relative humidity by using this formula, means by taking the ratio and multiply it by 100. Okay, only one topic is left, that is anomalous expansion of water in this chapter, and numericals are left. I will provide some numericals, questions of the numericals. So today we shall stop here, and in the next class we will discuss the last topic of this chapter, that is anomalous expansion of water. Thank you, children.